Hello viewers and welcome to part 2 of my Forza action. So driver recovered, haven't had a problem since. One interesting thing actually though, is I've been using my HTC Vive for the last couple of weeks, and after playing this game it kind of messed up the HTC Vive, made a controller mismatch. Now I've had to unplug my wheels, my joysticks, my pad, everything out of the PC since playing this. And I think you'll also see a memory issue, and I'm going to talk about that more later. So obviously I did the race again, went round like you saw earlier.
Your career begins with a tour through 12 events, each showcasing a different story of automotive passion. From feisty street races to handcrafted exotics, each event puts you behind the wheel of some of the greatest cars in the world. Every event has its own objectives, unique challenges, and opportunity to earn medals. Complete one event to unlock the next, and feel free to return to previous events at any time to try for a higher score or to increase your medal count. Now select the first event to get started.
Okay, so a bit of chat from him, and the structure is pretty much like Forza Motorsport anyway. So, you know, a wonderful structure to it in terms of presentation and look and all that sort of stuff. I mean, a lot of it's unnecessary really. Sometimes you think I wish a bit more investment had just gone into other aspects, but I won't go into all that now because people know my opinions on it all. I'm not keen on the direction on handling taken since Forza 5 and Forza 6. That's top and bottom of it, and I just, you know, it's got a new audience now that doesn't. It's not my type of game, and I think a lot of old Forza fans probably feel the same way. You know, it's a new, different market. So pick your car, get stuck in.
Each has a beauty and personality all its own. Choose the one that speaks to you.
So let's choose the car that speaks to me. I don't know, I just wanted something with some grunt. They're all muscle cars pretty much there, so let's get stuck in. I don't know which ones are the fastest, but Forza aficionados out there will always know their leaderboard cars.
Your first event takes place at the historic
Sebring International Raceway, which was the big selling point of Forza Motorsport 2 when it came out. I remember talking about the bumps at the beginning and end of the straight. As my PC runs out of memory, now I'll explain the memory thing. Basically, for whatever it is, the Microsoft Store installs the library onto your main hard drive, and I have an external, well, not external, but another bigger hard drive in the PC. And for the life of me, I've been through all the instructions. It says save your library somewhere else. It just won't save it anywhere else. So it's just gone and filled up the entire library. So it will get deleted after making this video, but at least it's there until I can at least figure out how to easily put my library onto another hard drive. And for some reason, the instructions, the official Microsoft instructions, are not corresponding with what I'm actually seeing. So I was just looking at options there, just double checking. There was definitely no wheel option in there, which I still find, you know, so half-hearted, frankly. You know, I just don't understand why you've released a driving game on a PC without a wheel option. It just seems ludicrous to me. But there you go. It's a technical demo, isn't it? That's what it is. It works. There we are. And it will work on quite low power PCs, I'm sure, as well. So looking around, frame rate was a little bit lower at the start here, going into turn 1. A great circuit, and, you know, again, graphically really nice. The detail on the tarmac, the tyre marks, oil marks, all that sort of stuff, it's all there. Going into the corners, nice big steering wheel. Car be leaning heavily on its suspension, probably very scary to drive through here. Now obviously the assists are on. I didn't go into turning off all the assists and all that stuff. I'm just going for a drive really and coming to the end. And that's what these two demos are on this particular video. So I think this first bit was just really for me looking at the visuals and how it works. I think in the second race again, we've got wet weather at Brands Hatch after this, and one thing I've noticed is that the driver tires are much quicker than they were. So normally I'd just win all the races early on, and not so quick this time. In particular the Brands Hatch race, the other people on my friends list, the other VVV people who are still super quick at racing games, just their driver tires just fly off. They've got faster cars, that's my excuse. So I'm just not hanging around now. I was trying to drive clean, and then thought, nah. The problem is the cars are so slow, you just lose so much time on the leaders if you don't get past them very quickly. You just need to sort of bash them out of the way, and that's much better for everybody. Still a great feeling to this circuit. It'd be nice for PC fans. I mean, it'll be nice, I think, for Turn 10 to really realise now what they can do when they start optimising for PC. Imagine the graphics and the details, and also whether it gives them more in terms of the physics, in terms of data, in terms of AI. You know, what more can they get from not just from the cloud, but from the idea of having more power on your PC. So, and the outside here. Take a little knock somewhere here as well. Little knock there. It's okay though. That was because I was braking into the corner, forgetting there was an automatic braking there as well. So no, there's no skills going on here. I wasn't out to prove a point. I'm trying to go fast just to get it round. But yeah, do let me know what you guys think of Forza Motorsport Apex and how you get into it, and you know how it all works. It'd be interesting to hear your opinions. I think from Microsoft's point of view, they'll want lots of data on it and improvements. They've got more coming on the way and DLC, and I've seen the news obviously on the VV website that the steering wheel option is coming. So I mean, for me, that's the most important thing in it, to make it work. It'd be really nice if they even implemented a VR capability. Not that that will happen, mind you, but it would be nice. This guy's pulling away from me, so I've not got the grunt down the straight. Diving on the inside. And 1, 2. Final lap. Not going to catch that guy in the lead. He's obviously much quicker than me. This lap, I suppose I'm just trying to settle into it and do a slightly better time, more representative if I can, with the assist. Obviously there's not much you can do with that. It sort of auto drives when you've got automatic braking on. I turn it all off next race, but I'm not able to close that gap, and the other car is completely gone. So close up. Funny playing with a controller again, you know. I mean, obviously I used to play with a controller all the time back in the day, before I got a racing seat and started racing with a wheel again. It's a long time since I've been racing with a wheel, since I'd done PC gaming in the late 90s. You know, that was a good time, but the Logitech G25 has a lot to answer for in terms of getting people like myself and a lot of people back into racing. Great wheel. So throwing the car much more into the corners now. But, being a bit more careful through here. A couple of corners to go, so we don't want to bin it. My camera's running out of power, so it'll probably just cut off in a moment, and then that will be the end. So let's see. This was always really tricky. It's much easier on this version. I suppose we just got used to the braking point, but back on Forza 2, this whole section was bumpy. All through here was bumpy, so it threw you into the wall very easily. These days it just feels a lot more steady. Cars seem to have a bit more grip. And go over the line, so that's the end of that run. And of course then the frame rate slows down for these cutscenes. Now I saw somebody mention that the replays were 60 frames per second on the PC version. I haven't seen those yet, so I will check them out. Well, maybe I won't. Maybe I won't check them out, but perhaps at some point.
Nice work passing your first event.
So on to the next event. We have a bit of Richard Hammond talking now.
If you love cars, this is where it
We'll
all
listen to what he
starts.
has to say.
In the empty parking areas and on the city
Oh
streets
no, it's
where
James
you race
May.
your mates between stoplights. We do this in the very first cars we owned, or the ones we saved up for later. We're talking about affordable heroes, cars that bring performance to the people. Whether they're smoking around a patch of waste ground or hammering along a city circuit you designed yourself. They aren't the most expensive and they won't win every drag race, but they all prove one thing. You don't need $1 million to have a car with a big heart.
An interesting video, really, if you think about it. You know, irresponsible driving, you know. It's not good. Don't do it and take it to the racetrack. That's what I'd always say. Even if you buy one of these hot hatches and you want to accelerate from the lights to the next set of traffic lights, you can do that. You can race around roundabouts at high speed, but always be safe on the road with your driving. Be responsible, you know, even if you've got a powerful car, because it's not designed.
Your second event
And I'm
takes
back
place
again
in the rain
after
at
the
Brands Hatch.
power died on the camera.
Racing on a wet
Such
track.
pain when that happens. So looking at Brands Hatch now. Again, great circuit. Love this circuit. I think the wet weather, in terms of how it's done, is you know, it's nice to see, and the puddles gathering and all that. Not that I'd race around it in these conditions. I suppose that's one of the things that I found disappointing about Forza 6 was the fact that, you know, there was no dynamic weather in there. I thought that was disappointing at this sort of late in the day, that we're still not getting dynamic weather, and that puddles were somehow supposed to make up for the most challenging part of motorsport for me, which is the transition between wet and dry and wet. That's the challenge. It's knowing that every corner is different all the time, and you know, when it's just one stable condition, the challenge is gone. It's just a new way of learning a less grippy surface and dodging those puddles. I mean, just knowing where they are, like an assault course. They're not different every lap. That's something I found personally disappointing in the way it was implemented. But going on this now, let's see how we get on with this.
Each driver is as unique and competitive as the players who trained them.
And away we go. So there's a bit of bumper cars here. I try to race clean and they're just all in my way, so I start bumping them out the way in a moment. But of course, hitting the brakes here, and the car will go wide. Oh, slowing down. Oh, going wide. Okay, I've got the hang of that now. So that wasn't very helpful for me in terms of amount of cars in my way. What am I, back down to last place? So got some work to do. Completely forgotten actually about the puddles when I was racing this, and then realised, oh, there's puddles there. Yes. And I thought it was the full Brands Hatch course, so I got to this corner as well, and I went, oh, it's the Indy course. So this is where they all just seem to slow down here so much. I'm like, get out of the way, get out of the way. Too slow. Stopping on the corner. Let's avoid that puddle on the inside because we know it's there, so we'll just avoid it. Oh, get out of the way. And away we go. Continuing again. My dodgy driving. Now I did actually turn off the assists, I think, earlier. Did all that. You know, obviously the racing line was on. I forgot to turn that off, but there's a couple of bits on, isn't there? They're not all off. They're not all off, by the way. I don't generally on Forza Motorsport. I found turning off traction control was on the normal Forza Motorsport was not advisable, because then I got my spinny wheel syndrome, and it works actually in some of these slow cars. It makes no difference whether you have traction control on or not. It's super fast cars where you really notice the difference. We're racing our way up here, just getting through there nicely. Again, the feeling of speed felt slightly faster this time. It did feel slightly quicker. I don't know why. So either way, cutting through the pack. I'm not hanging around. So in second place, and I'm having a problem here with the camera. Whatever's going on there. I think the battery's dying. My goodness, it's plugged in and it's still dying. Oh, it's over. Right. Well, I'm having technical problems now, viewers. So that's it from me, and there'll be more from me very soon.